Today we're ranking another one of my favorite book series. This time we're going to dive into Anna Gire's Fix-It Witches. Hi everyone, it's Kaylee and welcome back to my channel. So we're doing another ranking mini-sode today, and this one is for one of my favorite witchy reads series from this Halloween, and that is for Anna Gire's Fix-It Witches. Now I say it's a Halloween, it has nothing to do with Halloween. It doesn't take place in October, it has nothing to do with Halloween other than that it gives you those witchy fall, cozy, Halloween-y vibes. That's when I read it. You can please read this any time of the year because I loved all 4 of these books. There are 3 official books in the Fix-It Witches series: Witch Please, Boss Witch, and Extra Witchy. And there is a 4th book called The Only Purple House in Town. And the first 3 books all happen at the exact same time. They overlap with each other. By the time the ending of the first book overlaps with the beginning of the second book, you just switch narrators. So all 3 of those need to be read in sequential order. And book 4, while it's not officially part of the Fix-It Witches series, does take place in the same town. You do get to see these same characters are in the new one, and it is, I think it should belong in the series, but she puts it as a standalone. But I'm gonna keep it with these ones because I loved it just as much. So I'm gonna start at the bottom with my book 4, and that is book 1 in the series. It's called Witch Please. It's the book that started it all. It is about Danica, who is a witch, and Titus, who is a mundane, which is what they call non-magical people in this world. And he runs a bakery. And in this world, the witches and everything are in hiding. And she has been told that if she marries a mundane and falls in love with him, that she will lose her magic forever. So she is in denial, and she is very against getting together with Titus. And yeah, it all ends up working out in the end. It's all happily ever afters, and I thought it was a really good start to the story. You got to a really good intro into Danica and her cousin Clem, who is the narrator of the second book, as well as the rest of the coven, who play a role throughout all of 3 of the books. And yeah, I thought that this one was a good solid start to the story. I didn't really have any huge criticism about it. It just wasn't my favorite book in the series. Next up, we have book number 3 in the list and book number 3 in the series, which is Extra Witchy. And this one is about Leanne and Trevor. Leanne is a witch in the same coven with Danica and Clem from the first 2 books, and Trevor is a mundane as well, who is friends with Titus from the first book. And yeah, this one I liked a lot better. It was a marriage of convenience. I really enjoyed Leanne and Trevor's interactions. Leanne was a bit older. She was in her 30s, so she was a bit more grounded, and I really related to her more as a character than what I did to the first 2. And I thought it was really, really well done. I usually love a good marriage of convenience, and this one was no exception. She is running for council, and she needs that perfect husband to help her clinch her spot. And I just thought the story was so perfect, and it worked out so well, and I really enjoyed it. And book number 2 for me is book number 2 in the series, and it is called Boss Witch. And this one is about Clem, which is Danica's cousin, and Gavin, who is a witch hunter, and his family lineage has been all about killing witches and making them I don't think they kill them. I think they strip them of their magic and release them back into the world without their magic and without memories, which sounds horrible if you were a witch in this world. And so then they meet, and she's tasked to distract him from the witches in the town, and they end up falling in love. It is so cute. I loved the story. I loved the conclusion of this one. It made my heart so happy. I just loved this book, and I didn't think it would get better than this one. And then she came out with the standalone. And number 1 for me is the book that is not even actually in the series, and it is The Only Purple House in Town. And this one takes place after the magical creatures come out into the real world. It dives even more into the magical lore of this place, so you get meeting with fays as well as vampires and a whole bunch of other creatures in addition to the witches that you met in the first book. And those witches do have cameos in this book. I thought it was amazing. The male main character is Eli. He is a mundane Dane, and he has been in love with Iris, the female main character, for most of his life. He met her as a very young kid when she rescued him from a bully on the playground, and then they grew apart. They never saw each other, and they met at a happy accident meeting where he was going to thank her for what she did as a kid, and she assumed that he wanted to move into her old abandoned witchy house, and it just went from there. The cast of characters in this one is just amazing. There is really good queer representation in these books. There is a non-binary character in these books. It is just, they are so well done, and the stories are so good, and you just relate to all the characters. If she writes more in St. Clair and writes more in this world, I will read all of them instantly. I loved this world, and I just couldn't get enough of it. So that is my ranking for Anne Aguirre's Fix It Witches series, and I will do a quick little run through. Number 4, we have the first one, Witch Please. Number 3, we have book 3, Extra Witchy. Number 2, we have book 2, Boss Witch. And number 1, we have the bonus standalone, which is The Only Purple House in Town. And now I want a purple house. I don't think my husband would go for it. Have a good day.